Hello, everyone. You're listening to The Right Side of Gaming. Today, we're talking about something that I admit gets me a little worked up, but I want to add a quick disclaimer. While this is something related to the Secret Lair, it's not about the Secret Lair itself or the contents. My issue isn't with the LGBTQ part of this, I promise, but I want to head that off before we get into too much of this discussion. So if you're not aware, Wizards of the Coast, which makes Magic the Gathering, puts out products that they call Secret Lairs. I think these are usually about once a month or so. That's how often I seem to see them. But they're what we call premium products. So normally Wizards of the Coast puts out booster packs and things like that, where you open it up, you get cards. Sometimes you'll get special cards like shiny ones called foils, or ones where they've extended the art, things like that. With the Secret Lair, you're getting all of these cards every time, and they are what we call premium products. They are special art. Now, a lot of times they're based around a theme of some kind, or maybe they have a special artist or whatever. In this case, this is an LGBTQ theme. We have the trans character, we have the lesbian character, we have the gay couple, things like that. Now that's fine. Businesses are free to put out and sell whatever they want. There's definitely a market for this. I may have issues sometimes with how they might support some groups, not others. And then, they're not really good about doing this across the board in terms of geography either. They'll support this type of stuff in some countries and not others. But today, we're not actually talking about the set itself. We're talking about where the money is going. So because this is a premium product, it tends to be a little bit more expensive. How it works for this one is Wizards of the Coast has partnered with the Trevor Project, and half of the proceeds are going to go directly to the Trevor Project. Now, if that sounds familiar, that's because they were recently the subject of some controversy. The Trevor Project put out a comic that kind of went viral because it described what they do and how it works. So they are generally, I will admit, generally trying to help children. And what they'll do is they'll have chats with the kids so that they can go and talk to someone. But they set it up so that you can hide it from your parents. That you can, hit a button and get out and delete the entire history of the discussion, and your parents will never know. Now, their logic is that they're trying to protect kids from their parents. So imagine a lot of parents are upset because generally it's the people on the internet that the kids need to be protected from. You don't know who's on the other end. This is someone that is going out of their way to talk about sex and sexuality with your child, and they're trying to actively hide it from you. Naturally, there's a lot of fear of grooming, that these people are trying to talk about sex and sexuality with your child in order to take advantage of that later on. And we have seen that happen since the beginning of the internet. In fact, when I was growing up, there was a lot of discussion about how you don't use your real name, you don't give out a lot of personal details, things like that, because there was this fear that this type of thing would happen. And in fact, it did happen to a lot of people. Nowadays, it seems like they don't think twice about using their real names or giving out personal information. It's just another way to interact with people. And it's a lot harder for parents to keep track of what goes on and what their children are doing online, just because they're so much more connected. The technology is so much more advanced. And it is dangerous for the kids. And, Trevor Project and its supporters can say, well, there's always a chance that the parents could harm the child. Okay, if you want to take that remote possibility, then you also have to acknowledge that there is definitely at least an equal possibility that the strangers on the internet talking about sex and sexuality with a minor can harm a child. What's more is people are being incentivized to support this. I imagine this is a product that is going to see a fair amount of purchase. One, because a lot of people are either LGBT or pro-LGBT. And two, because they tend to put at least one or two cards in here that really make it worth the money to spend. So, for example, the first one I looked at, because I had a sneaking suspicion it would be most, if not all, the money, was this one right here, Mana Confluence. If you're not aware with how Magic the Gathering works, you use mana to pay for your other cards and effects and things like that. And a lot of times you get that mana by playing lands and using those to generate mana. So land cards are a big thing in Magic the Gathering. They are a very important part of the deck, and a lot of the money and cost of a deck can go towards just those lands. Your very basic lands will make one color. Sometimes they might make 2 or 3 colors, but there's usually some drawback that goes along with it. Mana Confluence is one of those cards that can make all 5 colors. So naturally, it is a little bit more valuable because those types of effects can really make a difference in a deck. And it would naturally be useful in a lot of them. What's more is it's a card that hasn't been reprinted a lot. A lot of times they will print a card with a specific set, and some of them you get reprints very often, and others not so much, and that drives the price up. So Mana Confluence came out in Journey to Nyx, which I think was 2014. I'd have to go back and check. But it's been quite some time. And you had the basic version, and then the foil version, which is the shiny version of the card. There was a special promo they put in something else with a little alt art, and then there was a regular promo. Now, just these basic versions of the card are worth about $38 and $50 respectively, and that's assuming that the price doesn't go up if they actually got some in stock. Compared to the price of the actual Secret Lair, that makes it worth it just to buy that one card. Okay, so $38 versus $40 for the non-foil, and then $50 and $50 for the foil version. That means people are going to be incentivized to buy this product, and not just because they want to support the LGBTQ, not just because they like the art. Both of those are legitimate reasons, and I guarantee you there'll be people that are doing both of those. But there will be people that want to play it mechanically because they can get that card that they need or want and a bunch of other stuff and really get a lot of value for their money. That means there's a lot of incentive for people to go out and buy these, which means that just means there's going to be more money going to the Trevor Project and more money to fund this type of child grooming. I know a lot of people don't get upset about this, but this has been a real serious point of contention lately, especially in regards to public schools, what our children are being exposed to, what they're being taught, and how much of it is appropriate, both in general and in terms of, well, this is how old they are, so this is the type of discussions they should be having. Maybe some of these other ones might be appropriate, but at a later date. And then there's just this general concept of we shouldn't be sexualizing minors. I think that's something that a lot of people should agree on. It's weird that they don't, and I am fully going to admit that. I generally try to be as fair and even-handed as possible, but this isn't something that should be a partisan issue, okay? This isn't something that should be a right versus left issue. We should all agree not to groom or sexualize young children, and it's very bothersome to me that people are okay with that. That's all I want to say for today, because I know if I keep going, this is just going to get messy, because again, I can already feel myself getting a little worked up. So if you want to leave a like, comment, subscribe, that'd be great. If you don't want to, I understand. This is definitely one of my more controversial topics. I will not take it personally. Either way, I hope you have an awesome day, and I will catch you next time.